Fascinating. Original Akaviri bas-reliefs, almost entirely intact. Amazing. You can see how the Akaviri craftsmen were beginning to embrace the more flowing Nordic style.
We're here for Alduin's wall, right, Esbern?
Yes, of course. We'll have more time to look around later, I suppose. Let's see what's up ahead. Shaw's bones, here it is. Alduin's wall, so well preserved. I've never seen a finer example of early Second Era Akaviri sculpture and relief.
Esbern, we need information, not a lecture on arts.
Yes, let's see what we have. Look, here is Alduin. This panel goes back to the beginning of time, when Alduin and the Dragon Cult ruled over Skyrim. Here, the humans rebelled against their dragon overlords, the legendary Dragon War. Alduin's defeat is the centerpiece of the war. You see, here is fallen from the sky. The Nord Toms, masters of the voice, are arrayed against him.
So does it show how they defeated him? Isn't that why we're here?
Patience. The Akaviri were not a straightforward people. Everything is couched in allegory, mythic symbol. Yes. This here, coming from the mouths of the Nord heroes, this is the Akaviri symbol for shout. But there's no way to know what shout is meant.
You mean they used a shout to defeat Alduin? You're sure?
Oh yes, presumably something rather specific to dragons, or even Alduin himself. Remember, this is where they recorded all they knew of Alduin and his birth.
So we're looking for a shout then. Damn it. Have you ever heard of such a thing? A shout that can knock a dragon out of the sky? I was afraid you were going to say that. I guess there's nothing for it. We'll have to ask the Greybeards for help. I hope to avoid involving them in this, but we have no other choice. If they had their way, you do nothing but sit up on their mountain with them and talk to the sky, or whatever it is they do. The Greybeards are so afraid of power that they won't use it. Think about it. Have they tried to stop the Civil War, or done anything about Alduin? No. And they're afraid of you, of your power. Trust me, there is no need to be afraid. Think of Tiber Septim. Do you think he'd have founded the Empire if he'd listened to the Greybeards? Only if you don't know how to use it. All the great heroes have had to learn to use their power. Those that shrank from their destiny. Well, you've never heard of them, have you? And there are the villains, those that misused their power. There's always a choice, and there's always a risk. But if you live in fear of what might go wrong, you'll end up doing nothing. Like the Greybeards up on their mountain. Right. Good thing they've already let you into their little cult. Not likely they'd help Esbern or me if we came calling. We'll look around Skyhaven Temple and see what else the old blades might have left for us. It's a better hideout than I could have hoped for. Talos guard you.
Look here, in the third panel. The prophecy which brought the Tamriel in the first place, in search of the Dragonborn. Here are the Akaviri, the blades. You see their distinctive long swords. Now they need their ancient mission fulfilled as the last Dragonborn contends with Alduin at the end of time. Are you paying attention, Delphine? You might learn something of our own history. Did you say something?
You're in luck. There is a blessing the blades used on the eve of battle. It's supposed to prepare the mind for slaying dragons. I doubt the blessing's effects would last for very long. So ask whenever you're heading out, and I'll perform the proper rites.
Haven't you been paying attention to anything I've said? Only you can finally defeat Alduin and avert the end of the world. If we can just find out what shout the Nord heroes used, you may have a chance. Or not. There's no guarantee with prophecy. Merely hope. That's all.
What is it? If they had their way, you do nothing but sit. The Greybeards are so afraid. Think about it. No. And trust me, there is no need to be afraid. Think of Tiber Septim. Do you think he'd have founded the Empire if he'd listened to the Greybeards? The Thalmor hunted us down, remember? It wasn't exactly great for recruitment. But we have a headquarters of a sort now. We will rebuild the Blades. Someday. Thanks. The Thalmor hunted us, but we have a headquarters of a sort now. If you find anyone you think would make a good recruit, I can certainly take a look at them. Remember though, being a Blade is a lifelong commitment. Their loyalty has to be with us once they're in.
I know the prophecy by heart. Once all blades knew it, when misrule takes its place at the 8 corners of the world. When the brass tower rocks and time is reshaped, when the thrice blessed fail and the red tower trembles, when the dragonborn ruler loses his throne and the white tower falls, when the snow tower lies sundered, kingless, bleeding, the World Eater wakes, and the wheel turns upon the last dragonborn.
Sky above, voice within. Where did you learn of that? Who have you been talking to? Yes, for matters of such gravity, we need to know where you stand, or who you stand with. If you wish to stand alone, so be it. If you wish for our help, you will answer my question. Where did you learn of a shout used to defeat Alduin? The Blades, of course. They specialize in meddling in matters they barely understand. Their reckless arrogance knows no bounds. They have always sought to turn the Dragonborn from the path of wisdom. Have you learned nothing from us? Would you simply be a tool in the hands of the Blades to be used for their own purposes? Do not be so sure about that. Beware. The Blades may claim to serve the Dragonborn, but they do not. They never have. As for me, I kept from you only what you were not yet ready to know. Are still not ready to know, as your question reveals. No, not now. Not until you return to the path of wisdom.
Adieu. Roklostovakin strudul rockventin vak pardonax.
Dragonborn, wait. Forgive me, I was intemperate. I allowed my emotions to cloud my judgment. Master Einoth reminded me of my duty. The decision whether or not to help you is not mine to make. No, I cannot teach it to you, because I do not know it. It is called Dragon Rend, but its words of power are unknown to us. We do not regret this loss. Dragon Rend holds no place within the way of the voice. But not Dragon Rend. The knowledge of that shout was lost in the time before history began. Perhaps only its creators ever knew it, but I am not the one to speak of it to you. It was created by those who had lived under the unimaginable cruelty of Alduin's dragon cult. Their whole lives were consumed with hatred for dragons, and they poured all their anger and hatred into this shout. When you learn a shout, you take it into your very being. In a sense, you become the shout. In order to learn and use this shout, you will be taking this evil into yourself. Only Paarthurnax, the master of our order, can answer that question, if he so chooses. He lives in seclusion on the very peak of the mountain. He speaks to us only rarely, and never to outsiders. Being allowed to see him is a great privilege. He is our leader. He surpasses us all in his mastery of the way of the voice. Only those whose voice is strong can find the path. We will teach you a shout to open the way to Paarthurnax. The path to Paarthurnax lies through this gate. I will show you how to open the way.
Look. Va. Cor. I will grant you my understanding of clear skies. This is your final gift from us, Dragonborn. Use it well. Clear skies will blow away the mist, but only for a time. The path to Paarthurnax is perilous, not to be embarked upon lightly. Keep moving, stay focused on your goal, and you will reach the summit.